Dungeons & Dragons is a wonderful game with many wonderful ways to play. You could be a little lizard man, pyromaniac. You can be a dwarf that's so angry at the concept of gravity he achieves flight. You can play a cat man that can run up to 186 miles per hour. That is fast enough to legally be on the Autobahn. And the best part is that each playstyle is balanced and each is as strong as the other. Okay, mostly balanced. Okay, like pretty balanced. Alright, the game isn't perfect, but it's nothing we can't fix. And I'm just the skeleton to fix it. The only guy with the knowledge to fix these dumpster fire class options. We're gonna improve and rebalance all the wimpier classes and subclasses in D&D so they're as good and attractive as the best of them. Don't worry, my weak little boys. We're gonna get you buff enough to make people actually want to play you. You'll have level ups to actually look forward to. Yes, no longer will your level ups be whack. Speaking of whacking, let's talk about Fighter, the ultimate whacker of things. Whack with a club, whack with a sword, do some long-range whacking in the bushes where no one can see you. A fighter lets you be a powerful warrior that dominates the battlefield. It's the simplest and most straightforward class, but that doesn't mean it's bad or boring to play. All you can do is swing a weapon around really well? Wow, you must be so basic. There's no way that could be made into an interesting character. This class rocks, and anyone who says it's basic is probably not a very creative person to begin with. Bang bang! Shots fired! Shots fired! Let's talk about how to buff this class. Base Fighter is pretty strong, and you really can't go wrong with this class, unless you are actively trying to sabotage yourself, such as choosing the Protection fighting style. Protection. When a creature you can see attacks a target other than you that is within 5 feet of you, you can use your reaction to impose disadvantage on the attack roll. You must be wielding a shield. So I could shoot a bow better, get +1 to my AC, deal more damage with a melee weapon. All of those options, by the way, are passive. Or I could choose a style that uses my reaction if I'm near an enemy to maybe not let a person get hit in the right situation. This level of coincidental chance only happens in romantic comedies. I'm not Brian Gosselgoober. My abs aren't photoshopped. No one picks this one. It's like you were picking teams for dodgeball. Protection is like the fat, unathletic kid. He can't hit things very well, he's easier to hit, and all he's really good at is taking a hit for someone else. And even then, he's not even that good at that. You seem nice, Mikey, but we keep not picking you because, well, you're just very bad at what you do. I mean, look at Gunther. Gunther here throws balls like bullets. See? Throws them real good. My solution is to combine this with the dueling fighting style, because with dueling you have to have a weapon in one hand and no weapon in the other. Shields are not considered weapons, so it's like a little tiny buff to dueling fighting style, and we can actually see the protection ability used in action. Other than that, base fighter is good, so let's focus on the subclasses. I think every subclass for any class should all be mechanically on par with each other. So if we want to make the weaker subclasses more viable, we need to first establish the strongest fighter subclass. And that would be Battle Master, because they get proficiency in artisan tools. You think Fighter gets too many feats? Well, he's gonna have all the feats when he knows how to use cobbler's tools and fix them shoes! No. The reason why Battle Master is so strong is not because of moon shoes, it's because of their maneuvers. They basically get 4 different abilities they can use at level 3, which is, tasty. So if Battle Master is the strongest, then what subclass is the weakest? A drum roll, please! It's Champion. It's the Champion subclass. Which is a shame because it's the default easiest option for new players. The subclass that DMs throw at little baby players because their brain isn't wrinkled enough to keep track of spell slots or read a bit more than normal. This is D&D. I want to punch a dragon. I don't want to have to read to write a book report. Champion Fighter is supposed to be pure distilled fighter, but it's more like flat Diet Coke that gets worse and warmer the more you drink it. Just because a subclass is designed to be beginner friendly does not mean it has to be bad. This is the most played subclass of the most played class in D&D. We gotta give our best boy some lovin', dog. So, how do we improve it? Well, first, maybe we could give it an actual feat at level 7, because right now, all they have is Remarkable Athlete. Starting at 7th level, you can add half your proficiency bonus, round up, to any strength, dexterity, or constitution check you make that doesn't already use your proficiency bonus. In addition, when you make a running long jump, the distance you can cover increases by a number of feet equal to your strength modifier. This feature deserves to be in a landfill because this is garbage. The first part is rewarding you in skills you most likely don't use in the first place. The strength fighter is not going to be using dex-based skills a lot. Like what? Is this swole bodybuilding man in a tin can going to try and start pickpocketing people? No, you're not going to do that. And what in the name of Gary Gygax is a constitution check? According to D&D Beyond, a constitution check can model your attempt to push beyond normal limits. The DM might call for a constitution check when you try to accomplish tasks like the following: hold your breath, march or labor for hours without rest, go without sleep, survive without food or water, quaff an entire stein of ale in one go. Alright, let's knock these out real quick. Holding your breath might lead to underwater combat and therefore must be avoided at all costs to save everyone's sanity. March labor for hours without rest. Most parties are fiending for those long rests like crack rocks. Plus, most DMs kind of hand wave travel time to begin with, so I don't see getting much use out of this either. Surviving without food or water won't come up. Most DMs don't keep track of food or water because they are cowards. And quaff an entire stein of ale in one go. You know, alright, okay, that one will probably come up a lot, hopefully every single session, but unfortunately you can't drink away your problems in real life, and you can't drink away the dragon terrorizing the city, as much as I wish I could. And being able to jump further is cool, I guess, but at level 7, Battle Master has learned how to 1-2 step away from his enemies, and tactically dislocating his arms to stab guys. What's more scary, the guy who can jump kinda far, or the man with 2 dislocated arms menacingly salsa dancing toward you? So here's what I suggest. We keep Remarkable Athlete exactly the same, but we also give them something in addition to level 7. My suggestion to fix this is extra feat. At level 7, in addition to Remarkable Athlete, you may also choose 1 feat. Champion is the quintessential fighter, and how do we make this fighter the most fightery? Give him more of what fighter gets: feats. Base fighter gets 7 ability score improvements or feats instead of the usual 5 that most classes get. So let's give them a feat. This way, it's going to close the power gap between Battle Master and Champion, and it's going to pave the way for more creative builds. And if you're a DM worried that picking a feat will be too complicated for a new player, just recommend they take the Resilient feat. It's passive and it's pretty good, and once it's on their character sheet, they won't forget it. Moving on to level 10, Additional Fighting Style. At 10th level, you can choose a second option from the Fighting Style class feature. Considering all but one of the fighting styles don't work together, either at 1st or 10th level, you are going to pick Defensive Fighting Style at some point if you're playing Champion Fighter. Defensive Fighting Style is the only other fighting style that works with the others. A person swinging around a giant's Vinehander is not going to need the ability to dual wield better, although dual wielding 2's Vinehanders would be dope. So this level up is basically just gain +1 AC, which is good, but it's not fun. No one looks at this part of Champion and is excited about it. Oh boy, I'm so glad I get to have a basic stat increase in this fantasy role-playing game while the other players are learning how to bend the fabric of reality and do tactical kickflips. So let's do what we did before, keep this feature, but add something new. I propose level 10, Combat Focus. As well as Additional Fighting Style, you also gain Combat Focus. Your mastery of weapons grants you extraordinary accuracy. If you miss an attack using your weapon on your turn, you can re-roll it. You must use this new roll. You can use this feature once per short or long rest. A champion of fighting should be good at whacking things. Their skill lends them a greater edge in battle. Also, it's a tool in their toolbox they can actively use and play with, instead of just all passive stuff. Now you can be more accurate when you're whacking off enemies. And with these changes, Champion should be as good as Battle Master, or at least around. It's an improvement. I think we can all agree on that. You know, the rest of the subclass is good. Improved and Superior Critical lets you crit more, and Survivor basically turns you into Wolverine or Deadpool, so that's neat. Next up is Arcane Archer, the shootiest boy. You can use your Arcane Shot ability to imbue your arrows with potent magical effects. They can cause arrows to explode, pierce through multiple enemies, even banish people, send them to the Shadow Realm. You can send people to the Shadow Realm because they have a 3rd-rate deck and they're a 4th-rate duelist. This is really cool. But you only get to use it twice per short rest, and you never get any more. Meanwhile, Battle Master can do their maneuver to give a motivational pep talk like 6 times per short rest. Hold on, I hear you say to your inanimate computer screen. Arcane Archer gets the Ever-Ready Shot, a feature that lets them gain back their Arcane Shot if they have no more uses when they roll initiative. So it balances out, right? Wrong! Battle Master gains the same type of thing at level 15, Restless. So you're basically screwed up until level 15. The Eldritch Knight still gets progressively more spell slots to use their spell abilities. Hell, Warlock gets more spell slots than just 2. The Warlock! Hey, you may not be able to do cool things that you were hoping to do when you read and looked at this class, but at least you could cast Druidcraft. You know, Druidcraft. You make a little fart cloud. Well, that's worth it, right? That totally makes up for it. This desperately needs buffing. Just make it so you have as many arcane shots as your proficiency bonus. Alright, what is their level 10 feature? Nothing. Nothing. What are you doing, Wizards of the Coast? Ooh, I'll get you! Hey! What was you playing with Arcane Archer, huh? What you playing there, bud? Well, it's just its abilities as strong as the Battle Masters are. What is the point of abilities if you can barely use them? Well, you get them back at a short rest. It's just they're so strong. The unearthed arcana. You come here, you little turd. You want to talk to me about the power of a fighter subclass? You got the nerve to tell me Arcane Archer is as strong as Battle Master. You ever have to run a game of D&D, and the Battle Master throws a spear at a winged demon, gets to use trip attack, inexplicably knocking it prone, and it falls from the sky, taking a truckload of damage? Then he uses Commanding Strike to tell the Paladin to whack a creature with advantage, and blows a Divine Smite, dealing even more damage? You're gonna stand there with your vacant, dumb face and tell me that isn't as strong as shooting an arrow that can summon a bush 3 times a day? Look at what you did. Look at what you did. Stick your nose in it. Look at it, and don't think for a second I forgot about the skag. Look, I get that Arcane Archer gets another arcane shot option at level 10, but Battlemaster gets another maneuver at level 10, and their maneuvers get buffed and do more damage. For level 10, let's give the arcane shot options a damage buff. Level 10, stronger arcane shot. At level 10, banishing arrow, beguiling arrow, bursting arrow, enfeebling arrow, grasping arrow, and shadow arrow all increase damage to 3d6. The earliest buff to the shots is level 18, which is absurd, because spoiler warning, player characters only go up to level 20. Buh. With this change, we can have a build that is as good as Battlemaster and a bit more enticing to play. Next on our list of buffing is the Samurai. It's pretty good, I'll admit. With Fighting Spirit, you can give yourself advantage on attack rolls and get temp HP. I'm not sure what the lore reason for that is. Maybe the Samurai shotgun's a thing of Mountain Dew. Elegant Courtier gives you proficiency in wisdom saving throws. So like, I don't know, maybe you unlock a tinfoil hat so the government can't get into your head. Rapid Strikes lets you say, yo, hold my beer. Yo, hold my Mountain Dew, and you forgo getting advantage on attacks so you can attack more. And Strength Before Death lets you not die when you're killed and interrupt someone's turn so you can take them down with you. But realistically, you use that extra turn to heal up because you are a coward and you are afraid of death. Accept death like a man and suplex that man into the sun. Now, that's all really cool. But you only get 3 uses of Fighting Spirit per long rest. I know we learned from this! How many times do I need to teach you this lesson, old man? They should be able to do cool things more than 3 times a day. Certainly more as they level up. Change it so you get a total of 4 uses of Fighting Spirit at level 10 and 5 uses at level 18. This also helps the level 18 ability because Strength Before Death isn't that good because you need to be dying for it to work. Pro tip, don't be dying. If we give them another Fighting Spirit at level 18, it's gonna make that level up more worth it. And this way, you can be the very best samurai. Jack. Wotc! Lastly is Eldritch Knight. This is one of the coolest subclasses. You're a magic swordsman. What more do you want? Yes, you can use a bow, but Arcane Archer exists, and that's not what you want from the subclass. Let's be honest with ourselves. You want to be swinging around a flaming sword. Why? Get rid of that bow. You don't need it. Get rid of it. I don't need bows and arrows. I got flaming hands. I got flaming swords. I'm a fiery boy. You can't contain me. You can tase a dude and then just stab him. It's dope. Or it would be if it was actually worth it. War Magic is a trap of an ability and is never worth it to use instead of just attacking. Seriously, I did the math. It's just not good. Basically, War Magic lets you use a cantrip, and then as a bonus action, you can attack with a melee weapon, which sounds really good, but unfortunately, all the cantrips in the player handbook are underwhelming for this purpose. In terms of damage, it is more effective to use your action to attack multiple times than it is to use a cantrip and then attack as a bonus action. You could make an argument for Poison Spray with its damage output, but many creatures are resistant or immune, plus your spell save DC probably won't be that high because you'll want to prioritize strength or dex over intelligence, at least at the earlier levels. The only way to make this subclass work is if you use the Skag, the dirtiest book, the unclean book. Yes, you need 2 books for this subclass to be effective. You have to use Booming Blade or Green Flame Blade to make this subclass work effectively. And, you know, that's fine. I went into this subclass wanting to do things like that, but they only give you 2 cantrips at level 3, which is, you know, kind of BS. because they gave Arcane Trickster 3 cantrips. Rogue is one of the strongest classes in the game. Favoring Rogue and giving them better abilities while Eldritch Knight gets shafted. It's like bailing out billionaires but letting Tiny Tim starve. I'm sorry, little Timmy. Your family will have to go hungry on Christmas morning. We were too busy filling up all the bathtubs with money so the billionaires and aristocrats can have a good nice soak in all the taxpayer dollars while we give them a good old fondle touching. Additionally, the subclass only lets you take spells from the school of abjuration or evocation. There are certain levels where you can take spells from different schools, but those are pretty few and far between. So, why can't I pick any 2 schools of magic to be my main 2 schools of magic? I know abjuration and evocation are the best ones to take, but let me make bad decisions, wizards. If I want to get a tattoo of a character sheet on my butt and then fill it out and drop my fat butt on the table every time I gotta look up how many attacks I have per round, I can do that. You ain't my real dad. What's up with this level 3 feature? Weapon Bond just lets you have a weapon that teleports to your hand and nothing else. A level 3 Battlemaster can turn on aimbot to stab people better. Yes, Eldritch Knight gets spell casting at level 3, but you gotta give him something to make him feel different. Arcane Trickster gets Mage Hand Ledgermane, Paladin gets Divine Smite. You know, one of the best abilities in the game.
Tactical nuke incoming!
Meanwhile, Eldritch Knight can pull a sword from his hat and nothing else. I suggest 3 changes for this subclass. 1, they learn Booming Blade or Green Flame Blade when they take this archetype. This does not count against their cantrips known. 2, you can pick the schools of magic you mainly learn spells from. This lets people make more creative builds. 3, at 3rd level, your bonded weapon can act as a casting focus. This one just seems obvious. I want to cast spells from my sword. I want to be a magic swordsman. And with that, I think that covers Eldritch Knight. So for the last 2 subclasses, Echo Knight and Cavalier, they're fine. Good job, wizards. A-. Well, I'm glad we all had fun today here, kids. But I must go. I have to hide myself before the sun rises, lest I be torn asunder by those that don't understand my very bony existence. Before I depart to my bone zone, remember, these are just suggestions. If your DM says he won't let you make these changes, then that's fine. My word is not law, yet. My word is not law yet. I am currently working on that. Just don't throw a hissy fit when he says he doesn't trust a talking skeleton you saw on the internet. This game is about having fun, so be cool. Hey guys, it's me, Skelly. Thanks for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I plan to do other videos like this in the future for all the classes in D&D. The next one is Barbarian. These do take a while to make, so, patience is a virtue. So, thank you guys for that. Let me know what you guys thought of this video in the comments. At this point in the video, I'm supposed to tell you to like and subscribe and smash the bell or something, but I'm not going to do that because you guys can make up your own minds, and you're your own free people. So I'm not going to tell you to do that. What I am going to tell you to do is to go reach out to someone you know and maybe you haven't talked to in a while, and just tell them one nice thing about them or one thing you like about them. That's what I want you guys to do.